do.
We're live.
Okay.
Carol Mordaunt. Miguel is interesting. He. I think that's another one of your admirers.
Yeah. That was because that was on the on the Facebook thing. It says whether you're going or whether you're interested or whatever.
I got it.
I clicked that I was interested.
Yeah. That's the first choice it gives you. Then you have to go in and re-click it. Does it do it on those posts? I didn't know it did it on those posts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So MiguelDean.net. Did you get your website revamped? Because last time you said you were, okay, yeah, you got it revamped.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I think maybe I got it a bit revamped last time we spoke. I can't remember, but then it all crashed. Yeah, I was working work on it, and then it all fell apart.
We're still trying to get ours up, so it doesn't even have the opportunity to crash yet. So let me just share it through the network. Yeah, we got 22 people and counting. These shows resonate with you. Please share. That's how we get past the algorithms of Facebook. We've been doing pretty good lately.
Mm-hmm.
How far are you from Glastonbury?
About 2 hours drive.
Okay, 2 hours. When are you going next? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't got it's half-term holiday. There's no school next week, so my son isn't with me, so I'm kind of a bit freer. I was thinking I might end up having a trip down. I don't know. Why'd you ask, Todd?
Well, if you go over there, there's a sister over there named Tamara Oviatt.
Okay.
I think she hooked up with Amanda Lawrence yesterday or today. I don't remember what day it was going to be. But she's very cool. She's from the States. She does some incredible work. We just did a show a couple of days ago. We did one about 2 weeks ago. We're going to do another one in a week or so. But she's really powerful. Very cool lady.
I'm not sure whether with dark hair. Dark hair.
No. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah, I forget. I've watched a few of the shows recently, but yeah, same as always.
Yeah, there's been a lot of new people. A lot of new people on. Carolyn Mordaunt, Diane McLaughlin, Kelly B. Sparklin, Patricia Satchwell. Thank you, Patricia, for your continued love, support, and contributions, and so many other people, including Beth Buslosh, Diane McLaughlin, Casey Lee Hutchins, Rosie Neal's in the house, Shaz Hargreaves, Thomas Bill, Susan Aaron, Jania Gazda from Vienna, Monica Ramirez, Daniela Bakika, Christine Giselle, Dr. Joe's in the house, Jody Lee's in the house. Thank you, Jody Lee, for always showing up. Shizuka Charday, some new names here. God, they're coming in too fast. I can't read them all. Michael Fox, Jamie Love, Nori Love, Eric Peterson. Did I miss anybody? Monica Peterson. Nope. I think I'm good. Katarina's in the house. Nikki Wadley. Greeting from the top of Matterhorn, Miguel Yo.
Yeah, Nikki Wadey. Yeah, she's on top of a mountain somewhere. My geography is not great, but a big white mountain. Yeah. Wonders of technology. Hello, everybody. Hi. All those people in the house. In the home. Big difference between a home and a house.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Can we have all those people in the home tonight instead of in the house?
Yeah, they're in the home. We're in the home.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, man, it's we talked about 2-3 weeks ago. And this mid-February part's been pretty, and we got a full moon coming up. Somebody's calling it a snow moon, the brightest moon of the year. There's always something unique about these moons.
There's always something at that, yeah. Wolf
I know.
Moon, snow moon, blood moon, powerful moon. Yeah.
Then of course, a lot of people have been following Jason Estes on the show. He's been forecasting really since he came on in November 21st. There was a big change. I don't really remember all the details, but beginning tomorrow, in about let's see, I'm going to say about 24 hours, 26 hours for a 12-hour period. There's going to be a big influx, or what is it going to be? I think it's a very important time to stay on your toes. Most of his forecasts have been pretty much on the spot. He talks about in kind of mathematical terms the increase in what's coming in our capacity to process it and hold it. Really things showing themselves to us so we can detach and release. So seems like an important time, and I felt like March is going to be a real coming out for. So yeah, I don't want to ask you what you've been doing because I know that you don't remember.
That's good. I was going to say, Todd, can you tell me when it hasn't been an important time recently?
I know, man.
Full on, isn't
I know.
Full on.
It's like every time you can't take your eye off the wheel, man. I mean, off the road, because next thing you know, you'll be bogged down like I was the other day. Oh, that was a trip. Yeah, one thing that's on my mind, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because I need to release it or integrate it, but it's this whole thing with QAnon, Trump, and I have no political affiliations. I don't even stick my nose in there. I'm way past that, like so many of us are. But this financial reset. $100,000 in a month in everybody's bank account, the elimination and forgiveness of all debt, property ownership, all this stuff, the Nasara that they've been talking about for 2-3 years, and I've just got to the point where, we've all come this far and, we're to discover we're the power. What the hell are we even focused on that stuff for? I'm like that's going to be some type of salvation. When reality is we keep making these changes as we've done for the past few years and dealing with our shadows and being more vulnerable and all the things that we've accomplished and continue to accomplish. Doing so, in my opinion, will create in the external a collective mirror of, the majority of our power, the majority of our, the overall expression of our consciousness as a whole, but so I don't know if it just frustrates me a little bit or what the case is, but I don't have any problem with Trump. I don't have any problem with anybody. But the thing is, this whole thing about we're waiting on, what are we waiting on? What the hell are we waiting on? What have we been waiting on all these years? Some icon to come out of the sky in a chariot blowing smoke rings out his ass, or a spaceships to land. That's all part of us. I'm not taking anything away from this. I hold all of that in the highest reverence, but we're here because of us. I guess I'm a little tired of hearing about it, because bottom line is, whether it's an institution of the politic or religion or any other type of organization or leader, if all this knowledge is out there and all this esoteric knowledge has been kept from us and certain people know about it, what the hell? This is the apocalypse. It's time to disclose everything. And anyone that's got any etheric balls at all would get up there and do it. And I don't give a shit if, they're threatened in this way or that way. We're eternal beings. So what are you afraid of? Okay, I'm done now.
Nice one, Todd. Go for it. Excellent.
Well,
I'm glad it was a bit of a monologue, because I just don't watch the news. I'm so out of touch in that. But what you're saying, it sounds to me like it's a bit like the usual thing of throwing a few scraps, a few morsels, this financial reset that you've mentioned and stuff, and it's people say, I get frustrated as well sometimes that people we're talking about, a whole new world and a different way of doing things and love and so often people just seem to, they don't see the big picture, the potential. If we are divine, immortal, unlimited beings, then it's not, we're not even really interested in a financial reset or a 4-day working week instead of a 5-day working week, or giving teachers a pay rise or something. It's like the financial system has to go totally. The education system has to go totally. They're so obsolete, and they're not in alignment with love and truth, that it's not, just doesn't seem enough, anywhere near enough to me to just tweak things a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
It's missing the point. And at the same time, perhaps, I don't know, perhaps there needs to be a middle point. Perhaps it's kind of like part of progression or something that this stuff happens. I don't know, Todd. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think there's enough conscious awareness that we're not in linear. We're in quantum, or maybe we're in a mixture of both. I don't know, but that there's a quantum aspect now. And if you look back at the history that's been allowed and what's creeped in through the alternate news, we all know that they had the esoteric knowledge, and these are part of us. I'm not creating any separation or intention of creating a separation, but the point is, everything was from the lesser gods, if you will, with knowledge well in advance, hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. So I don't trust any of that bullshit. I don't trust any of it, because it is giving our power up, and we've come all this way to be empowered and no longer be disempowered. So we're sitting here looking on something on the outside that, they're gonna, what kind of fucking chaos would there be if everyone got $100,000 a month in their bank account in the whole world? I mean, first of all, maybe it would be a perfect scenario, and money would become obsolete because there'd be so much, it would be pointless, and we wouldn't have to charge for anything. I don't know, but I guess where I'm at with it is the whole waiting on something to happen outside of ourselves. It doesn't happen there; it happens within ourselves, and that's what we came here to do. It is. Yeah. It's the hero's journey in each and every one of us, just like your story. Just like change. What you do. Yeah.
Change is always an inside job, eh? And I guess, it's so easy. I suppose, because a lot of my stuff is around the sort of divine masculine and feminine, it's kind of deepening and sort of, it's kind of everywhere in my life these days. Once you sort of have an awareness of something, you just sort of, you see it everywhere. But because that's such a big part of my life, I am aware. Are you still there, Todd? Your picture's gone. So I don't know whether I'm just talking to myself, but I'll carry on anyway because I'm used to talking to myself. What was I saying? The masculine and feminine stuff, because that's been my story, that I've spent so much of my life looking outwards for woman to heal me and to fulfill me and to complete me. And we've been so taught to look outside, all the time. It's always outside. We've gone to the moon. Possibly we've gone to the moon. That's debatable as well. But we've done all this travel in space. But when it comes to our inner travel and looking inside, how are we doing? How are we doing? And we keep forgetting. And so stuff like this financial reset and so on, people are looking inside, looking outside still for everything to change. And it seems a bit odd, getting excited about it. But I guess that's what happens, we're so trained to look outside that we forget, and we get distracted by the outside. And it's certainly been coming up for me a lot recently. Just look inside, Miguel, just keep looking inside. And, I've had a few quite severe sort of trigger points, and for a little while I'll find myself blaming, projecting, getting frustrated, and then it doesn't take too long before I spot it and realize that, something external has just triggered something in me for me to see and for me to let go of. So, same old formula: feel it, become aware of it, and feel the feeling without the story running in the mind. Breathe it in. Breathe in love, breathe out love, and let it go. But then I guess does that make it wrong that people are doing stuff on the outside as well? I don't know. I don't know. I guess everybody has their part to play. Todd, you back?
Yeah, man. You know what to do. Just keep talking.
I did.
Not too far from fixing this. We're going to plug in directly to the modem today. It's been raining every day, but I'm just going to get up there and do it. Hell with it.
Yeah,
I gotta.
The sound was coming and going just a little bit, and then you went totally.
Yeah. Well, we.
Yeah, it's doing it again now. And your picture's frozen. I don't
Just
know
kicked up. Can you hear me? As long as you can hear me, that's all right.
Now you're coming and going, Todd. You're coming and going. But it's all good. You know, you did your monologue first, so then it was my turn to do my monologue. It was quite interesting. I'm not sure if I need you there, Todd, actually. You know, if you want to go and have a bite to eat or something, I'll just carry on.
What's that? You do whatever you have to do. I heard, and you know, it's. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's stopping and starting a lot.
Can you hear me? Don't worry.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
Good.
It's all good.
True. Everybody has a role.
Todd, I can't hear you. You're really stopping and starting. I don't know if the people can hear.
Try.
It's not. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Todd. Looks like it's just me on my own. It looks like it's me on my own this evening. So hopefully Todd will come back shortly. Let's see what happens. So, what do we want to talk about? It feels a bit like, you know, teachers gone out of the classroom, like we can do what we want. But I can't see your comments. I don't know where your comments are. That's all a bit confusing if I'm looking at comments as well as talking at the same time. I'm not big on multitasking. Where are all your comments? I don't know. Probably people have got some really good ideas. We can throw pencils and rubbers around the classroom. That's what we always used to do when the teacher went out. So, Todd was saying, what have I been up to? Oh, is he coming back? I was just about to tell you something that I've been up to. Well, I think he might be coming back because my picture's gone small. All right, well, I'll carry on anyway. We don't need Todd. I've got a publishing deal for my book, for my third book, that's really exciting. And so that is going to be out soon. I could just do a plug for my book. And I think it's going to be called Bring Him Home, a twin flame love story. And it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary and it's exciting because scary and exciting always seem to be different sides of the same coin. Why is it scary? I guess it's scary because it's revealing Stepping Stones in the Mist. My other book was kind of vulnerable and raw. This one's taking that to a whole new level, really, because it's a true story. About how the divine feminine can heal, if the man is committed, that she will undo him, in order for all the false to be set free, and for him to return to his sacred masculine. Todd, is that you back? Can you hear me? This is the best show ever. I can see Todd. I don't know if you can see what I can see. all you lovely people in the house. Comments. Let me have a look. Let's see if there might be some important questions. Let me put my spectacles on. Tell me more about twin flames, Jay Love. Oh, well, there's something. Twin flames. Twin flames. I didn't kind of believe in twin flame stuff. Believe isn't the right word, but I was a bit skeptical about it all. And then, you know, as life would have it, yeah, I had a massive twin flame experience. Now, I think what people often misunderstand with twin flames is there are kind of two levels of twin flame in my experiences. You know, we all have this twin flame within us, the potential for the divine union of masculine and feminine within us. And I think that that's really the important bit. And as I was talking about before, you know, when we're looking outside all the time, and Todd was saying, you know, looking outside for something to fix us, that's become the really sort of fashionable thing about twin flames, that the twin, you know, a woman or a man is going to show up in our lives, a romantic partner, and, you know, and they're going to complete us and heal us. And it's reputedly going to be a little bit stormy. But my experience is that, you know, the twin flame, the woman in my situation that I met, you know, was just perfectly placed to press all the buttons and, you know, the deepest wounds and the last remnants of what really needed clearing out from me. Because, you know, it was what was already in me, you know. She was just a reflection. And we walked together for a while, we traveled together for a while, and I think that it's pretty usual that twin flame stuff is that, you know, it's unlikely that it's going to last forever, because you come together to do a job. And she really did a job on me. I mean, I can only really talk about it in my own experience. In my own experience, it was because, you know, I was still carrying some mother wound from my mom dying when I was little. It was still in the cells of my body. And when I met this woman, I was like, okay, no more broken relationships, no more pain, no more suffering. You know, I'm going to stand and face this thing inside me that keeps sabotaging relationships. So I really sort of put my sword in the ground and said, right, you know, I commit to love, I commit to this woman, and, you know, come hell or high water, here I stand. And yeah, hell and high water turned up, because this beautiful woman kept abandoning me. She kept leaving me emotionally, physically, and triggering exactly that, you know, that baby child wound around abandonment. And so, yeah, it was all purged, you know, from the deepest places inside me, in a crazy kind of way, because almost while it was happening, I was going through so much emotional pain. All this childhood trauma stuff was coming up, and on one level there was the man saying, oh, I know what's going on here, you know, it's okay, my girlfriend's just having a bit of space, and, you know, I've been a bit needy and a bit controlling and a bit emotional and stuff, and she needs a bit of space. But the little boy was just, he was just in so much pain, and he really, yeah, you know, it was bizarre. It was bizarre. It was like I was watching myself go, just purging all this pain and just being in so much discomfort. Couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, just physical sensations. So yeah, that's kind of the potential that twin flame, you know, the twin flame can have. But you know, I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful for the experience. I'm glad I don't need to go through it again. But, you know, I guess, you know, we can pay for loads of therapy and trauma release stuff, and I'm not knocking any of the different ways that we can release trauma and clear ourselves and purify and purge. But yeah, you know, it's a pretty interesting way of doing your healing. I mean, I've always known that conscious relationship is often called, you know, the highest form of yoga. You know, if you really want to get down to clearing, healing, cleaning, then yeah, conscious relationship is the business. It will clear you out sweetly, and sometimes not so sweetly. So yeah, that was my experience. And you know, it's funny because she was in a slightly different place. Well, she was in a very different place to me, and you know, I like to think that I served her just as deeply as she served me. There was a lot of sort of Kundalini magic and very strange things that happened between us. But it was all very beautiful. Yeah. So twin flame, yeah. Clearing out, cleaning, conscious relationships, intense. But the thing to always remember is that the most important thing is our inner twin flame. You know, it's all about balancing the masculine and feminine within ourselves and healing the masculine and feminine, that twin flame union within ourselves. And I know a lot of that work that was done for me was around my mother and my father. Not just that my bereaved mother that died when I was a baby, but my stepmother, who was pretty abusive towards me and my brothers and sisters. So there was a lot of work around forgiveness and release and healing, that stuff, and a lot of work around healing and release and forgiveness of my father, who allowed the situation to happen at home while he carried on with his career, oblivious of what was happening to his children. So that mother-father wound healing seems to be a really key part in you know, the alchemy of the twin flame union within ourselves. I don't believe that. Well, it didn't happen with women that I've had relationships with before. It makes it sound like I've had loads of relationships. I haven't had that many relationships. I was married for 15 years. But yeah, you know, it never went that deep with any other woman. And I feels to me like within the divine orchestration that it was because I had reached this place of peace and reconciliation with my parents. You know, I have a good relationship with my stepmother and a good relationship with my father now. Because we're back to the inner and the outer. They're just a reflection of you know, what I'm feeling on the inside, what's happening on the outside. It's just a reflection. So, yeah, my question to myself in a lot of this healing has always been, you know, what can I do to be the mother to myself that I never had? And, you know, what do I need to do to be the father to myself that I never had? So it's constantly going into that, going into those realms. And there just seems to be more and more layers of that. Yeah, you know, we just had Valentine's Day, and you know, there was a potential for me to feel a bit low. You know, I'm on my own, and I've chosen to be on my own after being a bit of a serial monogamist. You know, one relationship to the other, and yeah, you know, about 9 months ago, I said no more. You really need some time by yourself. And so this Valentine's Day arrives, and there's potential to feel a bit lonely and I feel a bit sad. But I remembered my work, and you know, the question was, okay, so how do I be the lover to myself? There isn't a woman for me to, you know, to express my love to, and so on. How do I express that to my inner lover, to the divine feminine within me? And yeah, one of the things that I really love, which I don't do that often, which I should do, will do more, is massage. So I booked myself a massage on Valentine's Day, and yeah, that was really sweet. It was really sweet. So yeah, that's a little bit about inner twin flame stuff. I don't want to say too much because I'll tell you all about I'll tell you too much about the book, because yeah, I'll get carried away and I'll start revealing too much about the plot and the story and what actually happened. Yeah. Okay, let me put my spectacles on and have another look at see if there's any other questions and things. this is this is this is really good. I wonder where Todd is. I remember. Another interesting concept for me is the generational energy through the concept of social work and family trees, but learned we can change generational energy in a moment with a choice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's worth mentioning that as you've this lady's just said here, which is who's just said that, because if I press the thing, it scrolls up too far. Dale Lawrence, our gentleman. That yeah, we can change this stuff in a moment, and this work that we're doing isn't just for us. You know, there's a Native American thing about the 7 generations gone and the 7 generations in front. You know, that is what we're doing. We are, you know, we're doing this work for the children, for our children and the generations to come. And it seems, you know, that we've just reached this point in consciousness, in humanity's evolution, that we can do it. We can do it in an instant. Yeah, we can just stop. It's like, you know, I consciously said, this shit stops here. I'm not passing this on to my sons. I'm blessed to have 2 beautiful boys, well, young men now, 18 and 24. And yeah, it stops here. It stops here. I think that's a really important point to remember. Sometimes we get lost in the little picture of little me, and you know, I'm trying to sort my wounds out, and I'm just trying to sort this out. But for me, when we're creating an imprint, of course, as well. You know, we do this for ourselves. We do this for the children. We do this for the collective. It's not to be underestimated how powerful this work is, and how important it is. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize I was going to be doing a Facebook Live. Isn't it funny how things turn out? I was a little bit nervous about coming on this evening, and that's been a recurring theme, actually. I don't know if, you know, others have been experiencing similar, but I've had a real wobble in my sort of self-confidence. You know, a lot of tenderness and just not feeling, not really believing in myself, and you know, and that sort of imposter syndrome and all those thoughts watching my mind going, who do you think you are? You know, what have you got to offer? And all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I was aware that I was just a little bit nervous. You know, I wrote a few things down on a piece of paper, which I never do. You know, come on, have a conversation with Todd, and time just disappears. And because if Todd wasn't here, I mean, if I didn't get to have these conversations with Todd, you know, I'd like to sort them out in a different way, because I just so resonate with Todd's energy, and I find that's a really unusual thing as a man. I resonate with quite a lot of female friends that I have, but there are, you know, I've got very few good male friends, and Todd lived a little bit closer, wasn't so busy doing interviews the whole time. I'd want to be having conversations and cups of tea with Todd. Yeah, maybe it's just worth mentioning, you know, that what great work Todd and Morgan, of course, you know, do. Yeah, you know, they inspire me. I watched, I don't know if anybody else watched some of the shows, the conversations that they did. There was one around the sort of sacred sexuality and stuff, and that I just found that so inspiring and heartwarming. And I just love. I'm all about vulnerability and being authentic and raw, and and that nothing should be taboo. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about death. Let's talk about taking drugs, or I don't know what the taboos are, but everything should be talked about. There's nothing for us to be ashamed of, and certainly not sex. Which is why I do talk about sex. There's quite a lot of sacred sex stuff in the book. But anyway, going off on a tangent. Todd, Ansology, what great work, just putting it out there. Rumi's words, there are hundreds of ways to kneel and kiss the ground, and just bringing people together and having conversations. Sometimes we forget, sometimes I want to see big changes, and I want, big evidence that that we are creating a more beautiful world for the children and ourselves. But it's, in my experience, if I look at my life story, it's the little things that are consistently done that have resulted in the big changes. So conversations that we have, I guess we have thoughts, and they turn into conversations, and the conversations perhaps turn into actions, and things change. That's how things change. It all starts with a conversation, and so many different people all contributing their gifts in so many different ways. We forget, don't we? The mind constantly wants to try and convince us that we're alone, that it's just, that we're separate. But we're not. And stuff like Sology reminds us of that. Even though I am on my own now, because Todd's still not shown back up again. But I'm not on my own. It's an illusion, isn't it? I'm not on my own. It says on the screen that there are 42 viewers, and there are 146 comments, and put your specs on, and 67 reactions. So there are, I'm not on my own. It's a bit like another little metaphor, isn't it? It seems as if I'm on my own, but I'm not. There's all you beautiful people out there with your hearts beating, breathing. And we're all living different versions of the same story. You're all feeling, you all have your challenges, you all have your struggles. We all have our ups and our downs. It seems that, our individual lives are just perfectly orchestrated to, just tweaked for the maximum evolution of our soul. And of course, we're living in interesting times. Interesting times where things can change real quick. Yeah. Oh, it's a good idea to put my spectacles on, because I can see there's a message there. It must be from Todd. It's all yours, Miguel. Speak it. Nice one, Todd. So let's have a few more. Let's see some more comments. Let's see what people are saying. Thanks, J-Love. Thank you. Yeah, it's an evolution revolution, Shaz. You're right. This little box with the comments is too small, so when I move a tiny bit, it all flies up the screen. Just got to be really delicate. Fucking used to always believe that there was a mission to do together, starting to believe that the learning self-love and unconditional love with no expectation is the real mission. Yes, Michelle. Yeah. I think it has got something to do with unconditional love and self-love. Yeah, self-love, loving ourselves. Will I be my Valentine? Yeah. It's these stories, These stories, and it's a really weird setup, isn't it? That we're born all pure and the embodiment of love and truth, and then shit happens, and we forget, and then we go through a journey to remember. Yeah, to remember that we are love, to remember that we're not really separate, that we're not really alone. I find it a bit tricky talking about some of that stuff because I don't really have a direct experience of oneness, and I only really like to speak about stuff that that I have in my direct experience. I guess I get glimpses. I get glimpses when I'm in nature, when I'm walking the hills. Yeah, I get glimpses of that connection. I think that's maybe why nature pulls me. It's kind of easier to feel the connection. And I remember when I used to work with, well, I still do, but when I used to work with younger disadvantaged youth, and a lot of the kids wanted to work with animals, and that was because a lot of them had negative experiences of human beings. And so, there's that thing that animals were a safe bet. And I guess it's a bit like that with nature, that, it's so innocent. And, well, it is innocent, yeah. I mean, I'm pausing for a moment because there is, nature can be fierce. I nearly drowned in the sea once, and, storms and so on. But you kind of know where you are with nature. Yeah. Let me look at some more comments. Yeah, nature is healing. Nature, Michelle, nature's my guru, my healer, my medicine. It's your time to get a clear flow and speak. Vibe with the heartbeats of whom are leaving your thoughts. Sweet. Yeah, it's a bit like, I was saying, it's perfect, isn't it, that this has happened. I'm here by myself. I'm here in the illusion of being by myself without my friend Todd. And yeah, maybe that was because I was feeling that little bit of lack of confidence and stuff. So life said, Miguel, get over it. We have the real experience. We have an experience, and all the smokescreen of the mind tries to throw up gets blown away in a second. Because I'm doing okay. We're all doing okay, aren't we? We're all doing okay just where we are. It's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough. I've been doing quite a lot of watching my mind recently. Well, I guess I always try and watch my mind, mindfulness, observing the mind. And there's a few little things that I notice that sometimes if I'm feeling a bit alone or lonely, and I know, I'm out for a walk or something, and I'll walk past a place where, where I've sat with a lover or something, and there were beautiful memories there. But what my mind always wanted to do was it always wanted to bring up a sort of painful angle to it, and sort of miss that person and lament the fact that it's not happening. And I thought, well, yeah, how helpful is that? What if I were just to reframe that, and when I see those places or those memories come up, I just remember how beautiful it was that experience actually happened. Not be upset because it's not continuing to happen now. In the mind, a tricky little customer sometimes, sneaky. And of course, those thoughts, they don't make me happy. They don't make me feel good. And usually we can see, isn't it, when we're having thoughts, when we're not feeling good, there's usually a thought, at the bottom of it, there's usually a thought that we're having. And often the fact that it's bringing up an uncomfortable emotion means that it's something that either needs expressing and setting free and releasing, or that it's something that's not in alignment with truth. So yeah, I'm glad I saw that. I've probably been doing that for years. I'm not doing it anymore. So that's good news, isn't it? Yeah. It seems to be that time, isn't it? That time when, when we can see through the veil, when we see more clearly some of these patterns and habits and things that we've been doing. Because I'm not big on the whole ascension story and what's going on. I don't really know what's going on. I really keep myself to myself. I put my stuff on Facebook with the intention to inspire and inform, and to get a few dopamine hits for myself, because it makes me feel good to know that other people are getting something out of what I share. So yeah, I don't know too much about what's going on out there really most of the time. I get glimpses and a bit of information comes in here and there, but I don't go looking for it. My path is just all about just doing my work, just putting one foot in front of the other, just letting go of what no longer serves me, being mindful of my thoughts, choosing my thoughts, and contributing as much as I can to the well-being and love and peace for other people. Because of course there really is no other, as I do to others, I do to myself. So yeah, it's just that's kind of the way it works for me. Just doing my stuff. I think it's easy to get a bit too distracted with, and I guess that one of the reasons why I choose that way is that it's it feels purer. I'm not being influenced by this theory or that theory or this advice or this story, or it's just constantly checking in with my sort of inner compass. What feels true? What feels right? And it's got me to where I am now. Although, I'm not saying there isn't a place for guidance and therapists and other stuff, and knowledge and books, but it's just not my thing at the minute. I've done plenty of that. But it hasn't been my thing for a little while, and it seems to me that increasingly that life is the workshop. If we walk slowly enough, if we walk mindfully with presence and with awareness, then everything that we need is presented to us. All the challenges, all the learnings, all the gifts, it's all there. All the tools. I don't want to. I don't want too much knowledge because it feels like it just exercises my mind, and I'm a bit pissed off with my mind. It's got me in a load of shit, and it's been a right bugger a lot of my life. I'm more interested in the heart and my body and feeling. I know that some of the things that have assisted me most were the sort of 3 or 4 years that I did doing dance. It got me right back into my body. I did biodanza and the Tai Chi that I learned for a few years with a teacher and that I practice every morning. Things that get us back into our bodies. These bodies, they're total miracles. Total miracles. And they kind of get neglected, and we glorify the mind and knowledge, and yeah, it has its place. But it's not current for me, the mind. Maybe that's why I've got very little memory anymore. But, I check in and see, well, what's the evidence? How's things going, Miguel? I'm more at peace with myself. Things seem to be manifesting and rolling along just fine. I have I guess I have a deeper knowing and a deeper intuition, a clearer, the emptier my mind gets from external stuff. I just kind of know stuff, and energy moves through me now, and strange things happen sometimes when I put my hands on, or and I haven't been and learnt any special technique or anything, so it suggests to me that I'm coming back to who I really am. And the way that I'm choosing to live my life seems to work, seems to be facilitating that. There's no right or wrong way of doing it. I don't think there's right or wrong way of doing it. And when I say doing it, if coming home to the heart. There's no wrong way of doing it. I guess that's one of the things that I've really noticed, is just a loosening, a letting go of my grip on this is the right way to do it, or this is the true story, or this is what's really happening. I don't know. How do we know? Yeah, we can say we have this sort of deep sense of knowing, and we know this is right, but we don't really, Whenever we're using these minds, they're so tricky. Which is the universal mind? Which is the egoic mind? Is one sneaked in the back door? Because we have areas of denial. We have blind spots. So it seems to me that it's best just to kind of let go of this is the right way, or this is the right story. Everybody just do your own thing. And don't try and force other people that, that yours is the right way and theirs is the wrong way, because that's a good indication that the ego sneaks back in. So, yeah. I forgot to move my clothes area. I can see the clothes area in the camera. It's outrageous, isn't it? Attention to detail, Miguel. So, I think it must be, I've been rabbiting on for a while now. 2056. Maybe it's one more comment, or what do I do? Should we just go on for a couple of hours? If everybody's not busy, should we just stay? Should we stay for a bit longer? No, we won't stay for a bit longer. I don't know. It's been fun, hasn't it? It's been fun. So, Jay's asked, what was my main initiation that led me to where I am now? Ah, Jay. Quickly, it sort of feels like, life is a series of initiations for the soul. Yeah, there have been a few big ones, usually painful, which I guess pain is often involved in a rites of passage. The big one really was the birth of my son. Well, he was 2 years old. He was born under an oak tree in a field where I was living at the time with my partner. So we called him Okie. And when he was born, I was kind of hoping that everything would all get really sweet. Yeah, I was addicted to drugs and I was in a mess. I was in a mess then. Angry, violent, needy. And I hoped that the birth of my son was going to make everything better, and it made everything worse because all of a sudden I didn't have all the undivided attention of his mom, and I was very close to walking away and leaving my son and my partner, and I decided that I had to try one last thing. And I saw a counsellor. I was terrified. I'd been living on the road for a number of years, and I saw this counsellor, and he just asked a few simple questions. And that was kind of like, that was one of the big initiations that turned things around. I began to understand for the first time, I was 28 years old, that my childhood, the things that had happened to me as a kid were directly responsible for the way that I'd been living. So that was a big initiation. Divorce, that was a fucking big initiation. Painful, ouch. Yeah. But, honouring myself. There was no love. We couldn't go any further. And I think there have been a few things in my life where I've made a decision and done something which I probably wouldn't have had the courage to do if I'd realised how painful it was going to be. So that was a big initiation and a big learning and understanding myself. Because for me, you see, every time a relationship ended, it wasn't just the relationship ending, it brought up all the mother abandonment stuff that was trapped inside me, the trauma of childhood. I had a beautiful initiation. I'm going to finish on this beautiful initiation that was it was a 5-day retreat. There was a day at the beginning and a day at the beginning to prepare and a day at the end of closure, and in the middle was a 3-day ceremony on the land and some wild land, which began my rewilding and me growing my hair and it's time for Miguel to start rewilding himself and coming back to the undomesticated, authentic masculine. And that was a beautiful initiation. We fasted and did a lot of, we lived out on the land in our separate spots, or vision quest, and did a lot of breath work and voice work and in ceremony in the circle. That was beautiful. That was beautiful initiation. So many initiations. So blessed. Yeah. This man is so blessed. Grateful. So it's 9 o'clock. So I think I had an hour. With all you beautiful people. I shall have a read through your comments and thank you for being who you are, and thank you for tuning in. I hope that something that I've said, some of the energy, something that's shared has been of value. If it's because there's just been one little tiny bit, then it wasn't just me rambling along for an hour. Isn't life strange? Isn't it beautiful? You never quite know what's going to happen next, do we? I reckon Todd set this all up on his own, didn't he? he was obviously divinely orchestrated through Todd. So thank you, Todd, and thank you, Morgan, and thank you to all you beautiful people.